Hey everybody, following my top 10 bucket list coasters, I thought I would do my top 10 bucket list parks. These are all parks I'm planning on visiting sometime in the future, so let's dive right into it. Starting off at number 10, we have Kings Island in Mason, Ohio, and the thing about this park that makes it a bucket list park is just they have so many great roller coasters. You've got Mystic Timbers, Diamondback, and Banshee, and to go along with it, you've got a ton of flat rides and some pretty good theming. I mean, of course, you've got that iconic fountain, and then the 1/3 replica of the Eiffel Tower in the main street. I think this park just looks really amazing. I think I'd have a great time here. Next up, we have Disneyland Paris in France. Now, this park, I was kind of skeptical on whether or not to put it at number 9 or 10, but I figure after seeing all the theming and everything and just seeing Hyperspace Mountain and Big Thunder Mountain, I think that it just looks really incredible. I think this has got to be one of the best theme parks in the world. I mean, the castle just looks amazing. You know, Hyperspace Mountain may or may not be the best Disney roller coaster, and this park just looks so well themed, and it just looks really beautiful. Next up, we have another park that's pretty beautiful, and it's probably one of the best theme parks in the world, if not the best, and that is Tokyo Disney Sea. And the thing about Tokyo Disney Sea is they don't really have any roller coasters. I mean, Raging Spirits is probably the best roller coaster because there's only one other one, and I think, just that mountain with all the lights and everything in front of it just looks amazing. I think it looks great. There's so much theming. There's probably some really great shows, and I just think this park I feel like I just would, even though I'm a coaster enthusiast, not a theme park enthusiast, I still think I would have a fantastic time just taking pictures and just walking around the park. Next up, we have Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park, California. The thing about this park is it isn't really, I don't think this is a really popular bucket list park, but I really think this park looks amazing. I mean, of course, you've got Ghost Rider, Accelerator, Hang Time, Silver Bullet, Montezuma's Revenge. Those are all some great roller coasters. And this is probably the only theme park in the Cedar Fair chain. I mean, this park just looks beautiful. I mean, it's got the ghost town where Ghost Rider is, and then of course you got all that rock work, and then you got the western area with the stagecoach rides. I think this park has a great atmosphere. I feel like this would be one of the parks in California. This would probably be my first pick for California parks. And I gotta say, even though this park is got a lot of rides and roller coasters, it's so small. I mean, look at Silver Bullet, which just goes over the entire park. I mean, Jaguar just spreads across so many rides. It even goes through Montezuma's Revenge's Loop. Next up, we have Busch Gardens Williamsburg in Williamsburg, Virginia. And the thing about this park is that this was one of the parks I was surprised I actually put on here. And that's just because, I think it's always overlooked as the weaker of the Busch Gardens parks. I think most people think Tampa is probably the better. I'm not so sure about that. But this park has a great selection of roller coasters. Of course, you're getting Pantheon in next year, which looks really like probably maybe even the best coaster in the park, to be honest. I mean, you've got Apollo's Chariot, Griffon, Alpengeist, Loch Ness Monster, Tempesto, Revolt. You've got so many fantastic roller coasters. And this park has probably some of the best food and some of the best theming and just natural beauty in general. I think this park has got to be one of the best theme parks in the world. From what I've heard, some of the shows are really good. And this park is also pretty big. It is a very large park. They've got a lot of space to build. Of course, you've got that river where you can actually take a boat ride. And you've got the train, you've got the sky ride, and just so many different flat rides. I think this park just looks really incredible. Next up, we have Universal Studios Japan in Osaka, Japan. And this is another park I was kind of surprised was actually going to be on this list. And that's because, like, this park, I was never really a Universal person. I never actually watched really any of the Universal movies. And whenever I first heard about this park, it just looked amazing. I mean, you got Flying Dinosaur, probably the best flying coaster out there. You got Hollywood Dream, which is a B&M Hyper, but it's not quite 200 feet. I think it's just should be classified as a B&M Mega Coaster. And overall, this park just looks like it's got a lot of theming. It looks like it's got so much detail in the architecture, and then you've also got the world's biggest minion area in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I think that those areas just look really amazing, some really well themed rides, and of course you've got the other three coasters in the park, which I mean you've got like a kiddie coaster, you've got the spinning VR coaster which looks really cool, and then you got another family coaster themed with Scooby-Doo. And overall, this park just looks really fantastic. Next up, we have Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. And yes, I know probably everyone watching this video expected Cedar Point to be on here. And to be honest, it's true. I mean, this has got to be one of the greatest parks. I mean, considering the next three parks are all theme parks, this might be the best amusement park in the world. I mean, it's got probably the best coaster lineup. I mean, of course, you've got Millennium Forest, Top Thrill Dragster, Steel Vengeance, Maverick, Raptor. Those are all some fantastic rides. And there's really something for everyone here. I mean, like, they've got some shows, they've got a beach, you've got the tall roller coasters, you've got the small roller coasters, you got the fast ones, you got the ones that go upside down a ton of times, you got ones that are just gonna throw you out of your seat and just make you, and it's just some intense coasters. And I think this park just looks like it could easily be a 3 or 4 day park just because of the beach and the fact that there's so much more than just the rides here. And that's what I really love about this park. Next up, we have Busch Gardens Tampa in Tampa, Florida. And this has been my bucket list park. It was my #1 bucket list park, but this has been one of my bucket list parks for such a long time. Pretty much for a couple years now, I've always wanted to go here. And out of all the parks on this list, this is probably the closest park that I could have gone to. We passed by it maybe like a mile, not even that, maybe like 5 minutes away from it when I was down in Florida. And it's kind of sad because, I really want to go here. I mean, you've got Kumba, you've got Montu, you've got Shikra, Cobra's Curse. I mean, you've got all these great rides, and plus they're getting RMC Gwazi in 2020. And I really think this park just looks like such an amazing experience. I mean, you've got the animals. So, like, if you don't want to ride rides, you can just go look at the animals. I mean, you could be riding Montu, and you could just be looking down and about to go through an intense experience, and there's just a giraffe. There's just like a giraffe right there. He's just chilling right there. And when you're on cheetah hunt, they've got actual cheetahs. And I think this park it just looks like easily a 2 day park. There's so much to do here. If you're gonna spend one day here, you're gonna have a very full day, considering that there is a lot of rides to do. You've got the 10 coasters, you've got Falcon's Fury, which looks like probably one of the best drop towers in the world. And then you've got the animals and all the shows and everything. I think you'd have a extremely full day. Next up we have Phantasialand in Germany. This was the other park that's been on my bucket list pretty much ever since, Terran, whatever you want to call it, came out. It was built. I mean, I've always wanted to go here. I mean, Terran looks like such a fantastic ride. I mean, Black Mamba looks like a fantastic ride. Even the log flume, Chiapas, looks like easily one of the best log flumes in the world. I mean, it just looks so incredible. I mean, and this park's only got, 7 coasters right now? 8? I mean, they're getting Fly, the world's only launched the world's only launched flying coaster. Sorry, and the tallest ride in this park is Mystery Castle, which is a drop tower, and it's not that tall, but this park's theming, they're just so well, they just do a really fantastic job at just putting so much detail. And of course, the #1 we have Europa Park in Rust, Germany. This has been another one of my bucket list parks for quite a while, even though they don't have the biggest selection of roller coasters. I mean, you got Woden, Atlantica Super Splash, Silver Star, Poseidon, Blue Fire. You've got really, there's not really that many coasters here that would be for thrill seekers, but just they're so good at immersing you into the themed areas. I mean, you've got, Scandinavia, you've got Iceland, you've got Switzerland, you've got Greece. I mean, these are all probably some of the best themed areas in any amusement park, and there's so many things to do here. I mean, you've got the shows, you've got 14 different roller coasters, that is including one that is going to be built in 2020 or 2021. And I gotta say, these there's just a ton to do. There's so many great dark rides and flat rides. I mean, and plus I've heard the operations here are just really incredible. I think, they're probably some of the best operations, if not the best operations out of any amusement park ever. I think it's just this park just looks so incredible. I think if I had one park in Germany to go to, this would be it. Well, that's it for my top 10 bucket list parks. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button for more videos just like this one. I would like to hear your thoughts down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time.